Welcome back to the Obsessive Gardener. I'm out here in my shed with a few of my plants, looking at the thermometer. It's about 68 degrees outside right now. In Watsonville, it's 61 degrees. The high was 64. And this is a problem for growing peppers because it's just not warm enough outside and I don't have a greenhouse. So, big lesson to learn. I'm new out here, so next year I gotta have a greenhouse. Anyways, I brought a few plants in. Here's a Batman's Hell's Bells. And as you can see, there's a pod that's probably as big as that one's going to get because it was outside, and it's about as big as it's going to get. There's a couple other pods on here. Hopefully they'll like their new environment inside here, and they'll get a little bit bigger and maybe put on a few more pods. There's a Tabasco, and here's a Batman's Tangerine Cream. It's got some flowers going on it, so it's lived its whole life in a double cup. So we should see some peppers hopefully on that soon. And there's a couple other peppers, Brain Strain, and here is a Chocolate Moruga crossed with a Yellow Reaper F2. And yeah, I just brought these guys in about 2 or 3 days ago, so I'm hoping to see some differences. You can see the pods back in there. Not very big. Alright, outside Yucatan White Habanero. I've done a video on this, tasted it, did a review. It's an awesome pepper. I love it. Tastes so good, smells so good, and it's doing pretty good out here. And also we have a second-year jalapeno that has really struggled this year. Last year it did great. This year not so well. It does have some pods, but I mean, look at that. I don't think it's going to get any bigger than that, and there's a few that are about the same size on there. So I'm not sure if the soil is an issue for some of these plants, but the Tom's Bomb is loving it. This is the F1, and finally this pheno that I've been waiting on. I really want to get seeds from this one right here. It's turning a little bit red. That means it's ripening up finally. You can see on the back there where it doesn't get any sun, you can really tell it's getting ripe, and it's got quite a few pods on it. This is an accidental cross. We believe the mother plant was a red Scotch bonnet, and not sure what the donor was. Maybe a purple cayenne. Okay, the Sugar Rush Peach, not minding the weather or the soil. It's completely loaded with pods, and we got a few ripe ones coming in. I've had a few already. I did a review on this as well recently, and I've been saving seeds and freezing some pods too to hopefully make some sauce out of. But yeah, that's looking really good. Here's the chocolate Umarock, and I mean, it's flowering like crazy, and it's putting on fruit. It's just the fruit does not get very big at all. There's a couple that are a little bit bigger. Like that one is bigger than most of them on here, as you can see. That's about the normal size right there, if you can see those pods. And they ripen to a chocolate color. It's a type of ghost pepper. They are really good. I did a review recently, and they are very tasty pepper. Just like a ghost, but I'd say a lot more sweetness to them. Very good pepper. And here's the largest pepper in the garden. It's a white peach crossed with a moruga, and not only is it the largest pepper, but it's one of the largest disappointments because it's been spending all its energy just getting huge, but it's barely starting to put off little tiny buds. And you know, if we don't get fruit soon, then it's going to be too late, because November is when it really starts cooling down out here, and that's about it after October for this guy. And it's up to my chin, I'd say, the tallest parts. There's a ahi lemon that just never took off. It's got some little buds starting on it, but I think it's too late for that one. I don't know what the issue was there. Red Scotch bonnet plant looks good, just not producing. I got one pod ripening up on there, and that's it. I think there's one other little tiny pod on here somewhere that's just not noteworthy at all. And here is Husky Red cherry tomato. This has been doing very, very well. I've been harvesting tomatoes off of here every few days and making salsa and it's been amazing. So yeah, this is a Husky Red. I've been kind of single vinding it. There's a ripe one right there. I'll just save that for later. Okay, I'm not sure what this is. It's just a little plant that I had. I didn't have a marker on it to say what it was, but I planted it right there. It seems to be doing okay. Weary. Here's one of my wearies. I have about 5, and yeah, it's doing well. And this one especially, the pods, they blush like a pink to purple. Especially this one has a real dark purple blush on it. And yeah, they're not ripe. That's not what they look like when they're ripe. They get a red color. If you look behind on the bottom, it's green. So it's not ripe yet. But it will be ripe soon. Here is a couple of pretty in purple peppers. They are capsicum annum, and here is a pod starting right there next to a flower. Very beautiful plant, very beautiful purple flowers. So this should be an interesting one to see what happens with that. I bought them in a variety pack at Walmart. And here is the other chocolate moruga cross with a yellow reaper. It's a pretty nice, okay sized pod. I mean, it's not that big, but it's bigger than all the other ones. So it should be ripening pretty soon. And I definitely would do a review on that. I'm not sure what color it's going to turn when it's ripe. Looks like it might turn yellow. And the 7-pot brain strain, I just did a review on this recently. It's a nice looking pod right there. This pepper is actually doing fairly well for the weather. I mean, most of the pods are small, but I mean, it's producing, even though they are small, it is producing pods. And there are a few large ones. Some got eaten by bugs. In fact, the 2 biggest ones on here were eaten by bugs. It's a pretty cool looking one though. It's got kind of like a swirl on it. It's got a little tan going. Pretty cool looking pod. And this is a yellow moruga, very small plant. It's producing some very small peppers, but nonetheless, it is a yellow moruga scorpion. And I will use the pods in a sauce or something. I will not let one pod go to waste. And here's a long, thin cayenne. Thin, but not very long. But nonetheless, we do have pods. So a lot of these plants don't produce anything, so I'm happy for everything I get. My favorite pepper probably in the whole world is a Fresno pepper. Very tasty. Actually got the seeds out of a pod that I bought at the store. It's doing alright for a little guy. And underneath this, to try to protect it from the cold, which seems to be working, is a King Star Lemon Starburst. All the other ones are either doing horrible or they just died off. I just don't think they can handle the cool weather we have out here. This one seems to be doing pretty well underneath the protection that I put over it. It's kind of like a little mini greenhouse. Okay, and this is a hot lemon pepper. It looks just like an ají lemon. I'm not sure if they are the exact same kind of pepper or not, but it's producing okay. It looks like it's going to do alright. It's got a few pods going. They're not huge, but they're not tiny either. And indoors we have pink minion, Taj Mahal pink minion. I just topped it recently. These are all cracky plants, hydroponic. That is a peach reaper. We've been dealing with some major bug problems, but they're coming back. That's a 7-pot white. Another 7-pot white. They just recently were topped. And this is a Tom's Bomb F2. And it's getting ready to flower before too long. It's getting some little buds. And over here we have another Taj Mahal pink minion that's got some little buds going on it too. And another peach reaper. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe, and we'll have more reviews and garden updates coming soon. Thank you so much.